Hey guys, this is Nick with PhoneArena and today we're reviewing the HTC Desire X. The smartphone fits perfectly in the mid-range category with its 4-inch LCD display with the WVGA resolution. Inside it we have a dual-core 1GHz processor, and on the back we see a 5-megapixel camera with LED flash and autofocus. The smartphone comes with Android 4.0 ice cream sandwich out of the box, and on top of it we have HTC's custom Sense 4.0 user interface. First things first, the HTC Desire X is definitely among the best looking Android mid-range devices we've come across lately. It has a gently curved back side which allows the device to fit like a glove when being held. It feels just like an extension of your hand and it's very comfortable to grasp and easy to operate. Unfortunately, there are some things that HTC should have definitely paid more attention to. For example, here we have the 2-button volume rocker on the right side and the lock key located on the top side of the smartphone. They are very tricky to use because they have very poor tactile response. Another thing that we have to mention is that fingerprints tend to stick easily on the back plastic side of the device, at least on the black version that we have here, and then getting them off is really tricky. The screen on the HTC Desire X is made using Super LCD 2 technology, which explains why it looks so nice. Colors are bright and vivid, while viewing angles are way more than acceptable for a device of this class. Furthermore, it retains a decent amount of outdoor visibility even when used under direct sunlight, although you might need to cover the screen with your other hand on some extreme occasions. As far as the details are concerned, the 480 by 800 pixels of resolution is nothing out of the ordinary, but still it's a decent resolution for a smartphone display of this class. Out of the box, the HTC Desire X comes with Android 4.0 ice cream sandwich, and on top of it we have HTC Sense 4.0, HTC's custom user interface, and it doesn't have a lot in common with the stock Android experience, but that's not really a bad thing because the interface is very enjoyable to use. For starters, we have the HTC trademark lock screen, which can host shortcuts to 4 applications of your choice. There are also tons of pretty widgets that HTC has included, including its acclaimed clock, weather and social networking widgets. There are also many wallpapers by HTC to choose from. HTC has thrown in several very handy applications with its smartphone. For example, there's this rescue application which allows the user to connect to an HTC representative in order to get remote assistance in case the smartphone starts misbehaving. There's also an application that allows you to transfer data such as contacts and other information from your old smartphone depending on its capabilities. There's also a very neat task manager that you can use to make your own to-do lists, and the appointments get automatically synchronized with your Google account. And here we have the on-screen virtual keyboard with its huge buttons which make the keyboard very easy to use, very easy to operate. It also has the ability to detect your typos and will correct them on the fly. What we have running inside the HTC Desire X is a dual-core 1GHz Snapdragon S4 processor. Unfortunately, it is of the low-grade Snapdragon S4 processors, so it gets rather average benchmark results, but that doesn't really matter as much as its real-life performance. As you can see, it renders the interface without dropping a frame. Actually, it handles everyday operations without any troubles. Lags are very rare and applications launch in an instant. Even the 3D games that we tried were more than playable on the HTC Desire X. Unfortunately, performance with the stock web browser isn't as smooth. Zooming in and out is often choppy, especially when browsing heavy web pages. There's also this weird thing about the browser that every time you switch to a new tab, it automatically refreshes the page, no matter whether you've cached it already or not. But on the bright side of things, there's this neat feature of the web browser that allows you to clear all pictures on the page and leave the text only, which can be very useful for the times when you just feel like reading an article or a piece of news. Here's the feature in action. Only the text is left without the images. For a mid-range smartphone, the HTC Desire X can take some pretty good looking photos. but they aren't really anything that will make your jaw drop. There's plenty of detail in the photos, but the colors are cold and lifeless, and once you zoom in, you start noticing how much digital noise is actually present in the shots. Low-light photos taken with a flash don't really look good either, but panorama photos turn out quite good and are worthy of being shared with your friends online. What we're happy to see is that the camera application launches quickly and the shutter lag is pretty much non-existent, and besides you get a whole bunch of built-in filters and effects that you can apply to your photos instantly. Last but not least, you can take full resolution photos while shooting video. And speaking of video, the maximum resolution at which it can be taken is 800 by 480 pixels, and as you might expect, its quality isn't that good considering that 720p video is out of the question. Here we have the stock music player that you get with the HTC Desire X. It's definitely versatile enough to meet the needs of even the more demanding users. Of course, you get the features like controls on your lock screen and in the drop-down menu, but there are also several cool tricks that it can do. For example, you can let it scan the network that you're connected to for media servers and then stream music straight from them. There is also SoundHound integration, and we definitely have to mention that you get Beats audio enhancements. With a default video player, you can enjoy MPEG-4 or DivX videos on your HTC Desire X. However, the maximum supported resolution is 800 by 480 pixels, which spoils the experience a bit. Therefore, don't even think about loading the smartphone with 720p or 1080p videos, as they won't be played. Call quality with the HTC Desire X isn't perfect, but it's definitely way above the average. Both on the other side of the line and through the earpiece, voices are slightly hollow but still free of crackling sounds and loud enough for us to understand what the other party is saying. Taking the back cover off reveals the battery inside the HTC Desire X. It is of the removable kind and has a capacity of 1650 mAh. That should be enough to deliver 6 hours of continuous talk time on a 3G network, which is well within the acceptable norms. In conclusion, chances are that you won't regret getting the HTC Desire X because there's so many things to like about it. You get a pretty display on a very good looking smartphone that is also very reasonably priced. However, you have to be prepared to live with its drawbacks, such as the horrible physical buttons that it has and the choppy performance of its stock browser, not to mention that it is unable to play back HD videos. There are several smartphones that we consider worthy alternatives to the HTC Desire X. For example, there's the Sony Xperia P, which might be slightly more expensive, but comes with an incredibly bright display on its front and a much better camera, not to mention that it comes with an aluminum body. There's also the Samsung Galaxy S3 Mini for those of you who prefer AMOLED displays. It has a 4-inch screen and a front-facing camera, while the Desire X doesn't have one, and on top of that it comes with Android 4.1 Jelly Bean, which is a newer version of Android. Of course, if you're looking for something more affordable, there's the HTC One V, which delivers decent performance at a considerably lower price. Thank you for watching our video review of the HTC Desire X. This is Nick, and if you'd like to check out any of our other smartphone reviews, just visit our website, PhoneArena.com.